In tonight's Big Story Breakdown, we're looking into all the things impacting your health. Mental health and substance abuse services for Oklahomans on the line once again as the state agency makes swift cuts to help climb out of a financial crisis.
Some providers across the state tell us they were blindsided and will have to stop some critical services as early as next month. They knew budget cuts from the state were coming, but not this severe.
I out loud said, wow, and I could feel tears welling up.
Oklahoma Citizen Advocates for Recovery and Treatment Association, or OKH, got this email Friday afternoon stating starting October 1st, the Department of Mental Health wouldn't be renewing several of their contracts, totaling nearly $640,000.
And immediately we started asking why.
Executive Director Brandy Vore expects to have to close the doors to their peer-run drop-in center, which serves around 3,500 Oklahomans each year. And they'll have to end a program for pregnant women who are homeless, connecting them to prenatal care and addiction recovery. Programs, she says, have proven to keep people from returning to jail, crisis care, or the streets.
I really didn't understand why you're just not going to fund these life-saving things. These aren't fluff. This isn't trimming fat.
The state contracts with OKH are among around 700 the agency has been evaluating. Another nonprofit, Oklahoma Alliance of Recovery Resources, says they were verbally told they were losing 20% of their funding from the state, but they've yet to receive written notification. A spokesperson for the Department of Mental Health tells us some contracts are canceled, others are being amended. She could not tell us the total dollar amount or how many providers are impacted.
I declare the resolution to have been adopted.
It comes amid a massive effort over the last year to turn things around at the state agency. Multiple investigations uncovered deep financial issues, and the former commissioner, Allie Friesen, was ousted by lawmakers. The legislature also poured tens of millions in extra funding so the agency could get through the 2025 fiscal year. In a statement to Fox 25, Interim Commissioner of Mental Health Greg Slavonic says these were very difficult decisions, but we cannot spend more than we have. We are committed to our state leaders, taxpayers, and most importantly, the Oklahomans we serve to provide quality care within our allocated budget. While a state agency works to get back on solid ground, the consequences, some warn, will be devastating. You really believe this could cost lives?
Absolutely. It will cost lives.
And we're hearing from Tulsa-based Family and Children's Services. They tell me the state's pulling $1.5 million in funding to some of their programs. FCS calls it concerning, but says COPES and the Crisis Care Center will still be available 24/7. You can find their full statement along with the entire statement from the Department of Mental Health addressing these cuts on OKCFox.com.
The Oklahoma County Jail Behavioral Health Care Center is a big focus for county commissioners, but the project expected to cost even more because contaminated soil has to be removed before the project can move forward. Fox 25's Rob Hagan joins us live from the site of the new center. Rob, what have you learned about this?
Adam, it costs $700 million for the new jail and another $44.4 million for the Behavioral Health Care Center. Now, it could cost nearly $500,000 more. Now, the soil's contaminated with hydrocarbons found in fossil fuels that could damage the lungs, liver, kidneys, brain, and even cause cancer. The agenda was tabled at last Wednesday's meeting. Tomorrow, the board will discuss the soil removal project, expected to cost more than $481,000. They're also going to try to find who's responsible for the oil spill.
Look at the chain of title of who's owned the land or had oil wells on the land through the years. And if you can find the connection to where the spill came from, we can get reimbursed.
Now, County Engineer Stacy Trumbo says the contaminated soil was discovered in the spring, but the project must be completed by December next year.
It's a much needed project for the community. It's a public safety issue. The current jail that we have is about 35 years old. It had some problems from the very first day.
A lot of problems, folks. Trumbo says the 800,000 square foot jail will house more than 2,300 inmates. The 56,000 square foot care center will house 60. Now, the county commissioners meeting starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp. Live in Oklahoma City, Rob Hagan, Fox 25 News.
Thank you, Rob. And throughout the state, we are seeing initiatives focused on improving health outcomes. This includes Oklahoma Human Services Aging Our Way initiative. This month, the agency is partnering with multiple organizations to host community events geared towards preventing falls. Tomorrow, there will be a Stay Steady kickoff luncheon for aging professionals who want to learn about the impact falls can have on older Oklahomans and ways to reduce fall-related injuries and deaths. The State Department of Health will also be hosting a fall prevention webinar series every Thursday this month to help raise awareness. On the 24th, there will be a workshop for aging Oklahomans featuring a panel of aging professionals and breakout sessions. According to OSDH, falls are the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries among Oklahomans 65 and older.
A new federal program investing $50 billion in a rural health transformation program in Oklahoma has to submit a state plan. If you live in or serve a rural community, they want to hear from you so they can create a sustainable plan to transform rural health in our state. All you have to do, fill out the form, ask for your information, what sector you or your organization relates to, and which areas should be top priorities for the program's funding. In order to have your ideas considered, you have to complete this by Friday. There'll also be regional listening sessions held throughout the month. State lawmakers taking a deeper dive into the conversation surrounding food additives was the focus of an interim study at the Capitol today.
Fox 25's Capitol reporter Paige Taylor breaks down the health concerns some experts are raising about these ingredients.
This isn't the first time food additives have been in the spotlight at the Oklahoma State Capitol. State Senator Kristen Thompson brought forth legislation last session to ban certain food additives and dyes, but it didn't make it across the finish line. Today, lawmakers, stakeholders, and experts discussed the topic ahead of next session.
The policy behind these changes, they're complicated.
As the conversation has ramped up nationally regarding food dyes, it also has at the Oklahoma State Capitol. State Senator Kristen Thompson and State Representative Tammy West hosting an interim study titled Hidden Costs, Food Additives, and Oklahoma's Health and Workforce. They heard from health experts.
So research on artificial food dyes is ongoing and continuously evolving. Research is exploring the link between artificial food dyes as well as neurobehavioral issues in children, hyperactivity, and other potential health impacts as well.
Food producers.
I would just offer that each specific ingredient ought to be evaluated very closely and precisely, and with understanding of the intent. Everyone knows that some things are added for profitability, but most things are added, particularly in the meat and poultry sector, for a very specific function that is beneficial to the safety and the quality of the food.
And Oklahoma's Workforce Commission CEO.
The data makes it clear that poor health imposes immense cost on our economy, from lost workdays and reduced productivity to billions in healthcare expenditures and GDP losses. The hidden cost of an unhealthy workforce is substantial.
Thompson and West listened and asked questions of the speakers as they look ahead to next session.
There's repercussions and ramifications for every decision we make in this building, and we want to be very thoughtful in our approach.
Interim studies on various topics will continue over the next couple of months. Reporting at the state capitol, I'm Paige Taylor.
And the governor is also pushing his Make Oklahoma Healthy Again campaign. It's a state-level extension of President Trump's national Make America Healthy Again movement. Governor Kevin Stitt signed an executive order directing the State Department of Health to stop recommending fluoride in water, leaving city and water districts to choose whether to use fluoride. The governor also ordered the removal of artificial food coloring in government-funded food programs, and announced he had asked federal officials to allow the state to block SNAP benefits from covering soda, candy, and other sugary confections.
You know I want to be top 10 in everything we do, and that is also healthy families in the state of Oklahoma. So today, I'm proud to announce that the team at Oklahoma DHS has submitted a waiver for SNAP benefits in Oklahoma. So our tax dollars are not going to continue to fund foods that are making people sick.
Last month, the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture approved Oklahoma's SNAP waiver. Governor Stitt expressed his gratitude, saying making sure taxpayer dollars aren't funding the foods that fuel obesity, diabetes, and chronic disease will pay dividends for generations.
The amidst care enrollment period now open for Oklahoma City residents. This is an opportunity for you to change your membership status with the ambulance service. amidst care covers the out-of-pocket expenses for emergency transports within EMSA's service area. The membership benefits apply to all household members. If you're not enrolled, you can log on to your utilities account and opt in. The monthly fee less than $4 a month. It'll be added to your OKC utilities bill. The enrollment period ends September 30th. And that was your Big Story Breakdown. You can find all of our reports on the Department of Mental Health's financial issues on OKCFox.com.
Plus, you can watch our previous Big Story Breakdowns on our YouTube channel. Just scan the QR code or search OKC Fox.